Hey guys, Grady's mom here, back with another cooking video. This is a pasta dish using Ditalini pasta. However, you can use whatever pasta that you like. I just feel like Ditalini. I'm going to use some mild Italian sausage. You can use hot sausage if you like it spicier, but my son won't eat the hot sausage, so I'm going to stick with the mild. I'm going to use some chicken broth. I'm going to use some pesto. If you have homemade pesto, that would be even better, but this is just a jar pesto that I had some left over from a recipe that I made last week. I have a red pepper, and then a quarter of a yellow or a white onion, whichever you prefer to call it. And then the star of the show, in my opinion, is kale. I love kale. I am on a huge kale kick, and I plan to use this entire bag of kale this week. So for this recipe, probably I will use about a third of this bag. It's a huge bag, and kale does cook down a bit. So it, when it's all cooked down, obviously it shrinks a little bit. So it's a very super easy recipe. I love pasta. It's a great foundation for a ton of different dinners, and I will show you guys how to make it. Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get a nice big pot of water boiling on your stove for the pasta, because you're going to get your pasta working. And then I have a large skillet, which I just have the sausage starting to sizzle away and brown up. It was a 1 pound package, and this is what I have left. So I used about 2/3 of the package. If you wanted to make this for a larger family, we are only a family of 3, I say go for it and use the whole pound. But in our case, anytime I can stretch meat to make more than one meal, I'm going to do it. So again, I used about 2/3 of a pound, and then this here, this little bit I will freeze, and I will probably make another dish out of this probably next week. And this is actually enough for me to stretch and make a nice quiche using some other veggies and things. So I definitely don't waste any of my meat or vegetables that are left over. I always freeze them and try to use them in some other way. So I'm just letting the sausage work right now, and I'm going to throw this in the freezer. Okay guys, so I chopped up about 3/4 of that red pepper, just kind of a large dice, and I'm just going to go ahead and add it right to the sausage, which is about, I don't know, 80% of the way cooked. So I'm just adding my pepper in. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. I have my heat on a little bit below medium. I turned it down a little bit. Oops. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and get my onion cut and put my onion right in there with the peppers and the meat. Okay guys, so I have my onions in with the sausage and the pepper. And I'm going to add a little chicken broth in a second. I have my Ditalini boiling away. This takes about 11 minutes, 10 to 11. So I'm just going to go ahead now. I'm going to grab my chicken broth, which I had left over from a recipe. And I'm just going to kind of give it a little splash. This is going to help too, to get all the little bits off the bottom of the pan from the sausage, which is all flavored. So I turned the heat up a little bit since I added the cold liquid. It was in the fridge. And I'm just going to let this keep on cooking until the peppers and the onions get caramelized and kind of nice and soft. And this is all that's going on for right now. So I was thinking about possibly adding diced tomatoes, but I remember that I had these beautiful cherry tomatoes in my fridge, and I had a whole bunch of them, so I'm actually going to add these in, guys, just to give it a little bit more of a veggie element, I guess, and make it more saucy. Now, I'm not going to cut these because these are actually going to pop open on their own from the heat, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them right in the pan. And actually, like I said, there's no need to cut these because of the size. These will pop right into the pan. The skin will just burst right open in the heat. And along with a little bit of the chicken broth that you can see here, it'll make a nice little, make it like a little bit more saucy, if that makes sense. I am just kind of going with the flow with this recipe. I usually make this always with kale and the pesto and the sausage, and I kind of just throw in whatever veggies I have. You guys know me by now who have been following my channel. I always add things in cooking and recipes and try new things. I'm fortunate that I just have a good knowledge of what's going to work and what's not. For those who are sort of newbie cooks, it's a great way just to kind of learn what works, what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like. So definitely don't be shy to try adding different things because that's really how you learn, and it's kind of like trial by error. So my pasta's done. I'm going to get that drained, and I will show you guys what we do after that. Okay guys, so my ditalini is cooked and drained. I'm not going to rinse it because I want it hot. And right in the same pot that I cooked the ditalini, I put 2 heaping teaspoons of the pesto from the jar. Again, if you have homemade pesto, that would be even better. And now right to this pan, I'm actually going to add the hot ditalini. And the pesto is right on the bottom. I think I lost a few pieces. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to step back so my lens doesn't fog up, is just kind of mix the pasta in with the pesto. Like this, just to kind of gauge, because we want a very subtle pesto flavor. So it looks like I need more, so I'm going to go ahead and add another little teaspoon. I always say in cooking it's better to be able to add more than add too much to begin with and not be able to take it away. So I'm just going to keep on combining this, guys, and stirring, and I will show you what it should look like after the pesto is incorporated. Okay guys, so the best way I can describe the amount of pesto you want is you want your pasta to be speckled. I guess that's the best word I can use. So not fully green and coated with pesto, just sort of lightly speckled. And that is ready. And over here, my pan is looking awesome. The tomatoes are just about ready to pop, and I love when they pop. I know that's weird, but it's a little pleasure of mine in life. I like when tomatoes pop. I grew up with an Italian mom, what can I say? So, I'm actually now going to add a little more chicken broth. Just like that, right in here. And now I'm actually going to add the pasta right into this pot. Or actually, I think what I'm going to do is add this pan into the pot of pasta that I have over some heat, and I will show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so I have my 2 pots combined, and now we do what I always do, fold it. And yep, the tomatoes are just about to pop. So again, sausage, tomatoes, red peppers, some onion. We're going to combine that now with the pasta that has the very light speckling of pesto. Looks so good. I love pasta. I seriously couldn't live without it. Okay, so this looks really good and combined nicely. So now I'm going to turn the heat on low. We're going to add just a little more chicken broth. We want this to be nice and moist. We don't want dry. Nobody wants dry pasta. Give it one more nice little stir. And now comes my favorite part, which is the kale. So, I have my nice big bag of kale. This is already chopped and washed. Now again, don't let it deceive you. It might look like a lot, but once it cooks down and it hits the heat, it's going to wilt down just like spinach would. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. And now I'm just going to, again, fold this all in, guys. And I will show you what it looks like after it is all folded in. It's just easier to do it with the use of both of my hands. This is what we want. This is the consistency that we want. Now, the kale, guys, I put in completely raw, cold, raw kale. A lot of people are not familiar with kale or intimidated by kale. It is one of the most delicious and easy to use ingredients. It's inexpensive, especially because it comes in such a, you guys saw the bag I got. That bag was massive. I think the whole bag was like $3, and it's a massive bag. So if you're a huge kale nut, you can always add more kale, but this is just the amount that works for me. So everything is in one pan. I'm actually going to take a lemon. This is completely optional. It's just about 1/4 of a lemon. And just squeeze it. I de-seeded it, obviously. I'm just going to squeeze it because kale and lemon happen to go really good together. And I happen to love lemon. So I squeezed the lemon. And I actually tasted it. It needs no salt at all. The chicken broth took care of that. And all I'm going to add is just a little bit of black pepper. Not too spicy because I have a little one. And just one final mix. It tastes delicious. It tastes fresh. It's actually really healthy. I mean, unless you don't count sausage, it's healthy. Other than that, kale, veggies, pesto, pasta, I don't really see how you could call this a really unhealthy dinner. But anyways, guys, I definitely just wung it with this one. What I do with a lot of my recipes is I just find a base for what I want to make. And today I knew I wanted to make something with pasta, sausage, and kale. So a lot of times with cooking, even for you guys who are new cooks, experienced cooks, figure out what it is that you want in general. Do you want to make a pasta dish? Do you want to make a soup? Do you want to make a chicken dish? Figure out the core ingredients, and then what I always say is just build off of that. So I knew that I wanted pasta, kale, and sausage, and then I just looked in my fridge, my pantry, saw what I had to use up. Like, for example, this chicken broth is a great example. I had a half carton left. I used almost the rest of the half. And I have this delicious dinner. It tastes amazing. I'm just going to top it off with a little Parmesan cheese. And that is our dinner for tonight. So I am super excited. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thumbs up for more cooking videos. And I will post all the information in the link down below. Have a great day.